Good evening, viewers, and welcome once again to this edition of Catch Play, your sports development program, bringing you stories of individuals and groups through sports development throughout Papua New Guinea. Now, Mai and I have a great lineup coming up for you tonight. Is that right, Mai? Yes, we do have a great lineup, so why don't you take us through to the lineup for tonight? Absolutely, Mai. Now, coming up on the show tonight, we have the Taekwondo Academy that's been running for over 20 years. Benjamin Muri, who's following his career in refereeing. We also have the Rabaul LLG Games that are now practicing for the upcoming PNG Games. And finally, we have the Warriors from Simbu, who are also bidding for Digicel Cup 2016, and that's coming up tonight on Catch Play. There you have it, man. That's the lineup for tonight. What an exciting lineup, Godwin. And what a mouthful. Yeah, why don't we take a look at our first story?
Bennett Walaun runs the Taekwondo school at his backyard in Kerevat in the Digicel district of East New Britain province. The veteran Taekwondo practitioner is one of the very few Papua New Guineans who is still practicing this Korean art of self-defense. Here you can't see as much as what you can find in a gym, but those who turn up here every afternoon know what it takes to be fit to withstand some of the deadly kicks in this body contact sport. Equipped only with an old rubber tube filled with rags, the students calls it a punching bag. Every afternoon, small children and young adults in the neighborhood gathered at his house to attend at least an hour of intense training. After almost 20 years and from a humble start, the training school had brought the level of Taekwondo in East New Britain province to a new level. Despite limited resources, the students from this small academy have made it through to big sporting events.
Side belong club lo Kerevat or Sami pla lo side and plan they only representing Miss New Britain, only fight lo PNG game. And because me moldy molab lo time molly come on top so.
While many viewed Taekwondo as a sport, Walaun says it also involves self-discipline that helps its young students to be better citizens of the community.
Me sabe talking molos and time you like come training martial art and spark na drug na emtambo.
The former martial artist hasn't made his presence known in a big way, but his mentorship in this self-defense sport has been a remarkable one. About 5 students from this training ground has made it to numerous PNG Games, representing the East New Britain provincial team. Not only that, one of them has won silver for Papua New Guinea in the recent Pacific Games in Port Moresby.
Raina, how did you get into Taekwondo?
Pagpap sebelumnya masih mau martial arts, karate. So I've been training. Mga tournament do karate so puti migo. Inshallah, Taekwondo tournament.
The academy has already begun training to make up the East New Britain Taekwondo team for the coming PNG Games in West New Britain province in November this year.
Lo side blow martial art and discipline and big pla. Osan mas discipline and then you go inside the ring and by good pla fighter.
Walaun hopes to send as much students as he could to the East New Britain's district games later on this year, before the final East New Britain Taekwondo team is selected for the PNG Games in November.
Okay, ready? Here we go.
Yes, and there you have it. That was Kerevat Backyard Taekwondo. Now, Mai, obviously you've seen the video. What do you think about that?
I think that's just great, you know. 20 years of Taekwondo backyard, you know, training, getting all these young kids to get into Taekwondo. Seriously, these guys, the way they're kicking the bags, the type of movement they're doing, this is professional Taekwondo. And they're coming from people from the actual district down in East New Britain. They mean business, and this is something that Raina Penny is actually promoting Taekwondo in his province.
I think it's good that they have such initiatives like this so that all the young kids, I mean, you've seen the young kids, they're very enthusiastic, they're passionate about what they're doing, and they love the sport of Taekwondo, and to see them come up and, you know, try out, it's something very important for the community.
And, you know, Rainer Penny is the 2015 Pacific Games gold medalist.
Yep.
And he's gone back. He started out from that backyard Taekwondo, and after being recognized by Taekwondo PNG, they brought him over to Port Moresby. He's been living with the Castman family.
Yep.
And training under them, and look what that backyard Taekwondo has provided, and a gold medalist from that very part of Kerevat. In the village, the scenery, very interesting. The kids, especially girls, taking up Taekwondo, and I mean, look, this is something new that we need to take up seriously.
Well, I think it's good for the community, especially with, you know, a few months remaining before the PNG Games, and it's good to get the hype out there so that not just Taekwondo but other sporting codes can ponder upon Taekwondo and you know, go out there and start training for their individual sporting codes as well.
Well, good on the coach himself, plus Rainer Penny, for putting all this together and getting the interest of kids in the village, outside of town, right into the bushes. You might never know people are training there. Not only Taekwondo, rugby league, cricket, volleyball, netball. Man, this is the type of athletes that we want to promote, bring them out from the city limelight, take them back into the community and promote the sport itself by developing up and new coming up talents.
So a very good story there, Mai. We'll take a quick break, and coming up next, should referees be respected? That's right after this on Catch Play. Back here watching Catch Play. Now, should referees be respected? Well, Catch Play caught up with Benjamin Muri, who's the Suburban League referee in Port Moresby. So here's his story.
Benjamin Muri, who hails from Kinipo village in Baimuru district in the Gulf province, has been around local talents and also former and current rugby league players as a referee himself. He started out as a rugby union player in 1974 in Leh, but due to injuries he stopped playing. Back then Mr. Muri was a soldier with the PNG Defence Force in the medical unit. In 1984 he took up the role as a referee and refereeing local rugby league competition around Port Moresby like the South Rugby League and the Pepsi off-season.
I really was a union player when I got injuries back in Leh when I was a soldier boy. I quit playing union and I took up 74, sorry. Then when I came over from Egan Barracks to Mari Barracks, I switched to the rugby league. Not playing rugby league, but being a referee of it was way back in 1984. So.
Being a referee is tough on the field and off the field as well. It is also a challenge that they take from crowds and also players abusing them. But for the love of sport, Mr. Muri puts all that behind. Living in the suburbs of Calgary every day is just a normal day for him, making ends by doing little table marketing. A very humble man who has been living in Calgary for the past 58 years, Mr. Muri said he would like to pass on his refereeing career to young and active people to take up the role.
I've already working with very young and talented and very understanding young people around here in Calgary itself. One of them is just next door to me. I plan to to retire at the age of 64, which I will be turning 64 on the 9th of May this year. I think I'm getting old. I cannot even run anymore on the field. I need to see the young and energetic people to go up there and replace me.
Mr. Muri also stated that referees need to be protected as many of them are abused during competitions. Referees play a big part in the rugby league games and should be looked after well.
Yes, and what an interesting story there of Benjamin Muri. Now, Mai, obviously you caught up with him, so tell our viewers about it.
Benjamin Muri, 32 years of refereeing in the Suburban Rugby League in Port Moresby and also the Central Province. You know, a very humble man, began from humble beginnings in the suburb of Calgary.
Yep.
And he's still going on, 64 years old, and he can still run the side of the field, in the middle of the field. That's the passion, the love of sport he has in rugby league.
Now, obviously coming, you know, from the community, Mai, just tell us how has he impacted the community where he comes from Calgary?
Well, he's very well respected in the community, especially in the suburb he comes from at Calgary. Everyone knows him as a very top referee, where he's been around PRL, now it's called the National Football Stadium. Yep. He's been with the PNG Rugby League refereeing games in like Vipers and other competitions that have been played. And also Central Province, just recently he was with the Gabba Gabba Nines.
Yep.
And this guy has the passion for it, and he's also trying to give back to the community to try and help up and coming young men and women to take up refereeing seriously.
Now, obviously, Mai, you know, this is his career. This is what he does for a living. Obviously, he's shown a lot of passion about, you know, growing up and, you know, taking part in rugby league competitions and now being a referee. You know, everyone does what they do. We do what we do here. And the big thing is it comes down to the respect that people show at the field. You know, we've got the athletes, we've got the referees, we've got the spectators. Now, where do we place these people?
They should, you know, these referees should be well respected. They make the game happen for us on the field, for us crowds to watch the competitions and, you know, to see which teams are winning and which teams are losing. These people, they get abused on the field by crowd, by our players themselves, but they put it behind because of the love for the sport and the passion they have. They should be protected. What Mr. Muri wants is referees should be protected, and this is a message going out to the PNG Rugby Football League and also the Port Moresby Rugby League that has, you know, referees along his age areas which needs to be respected. And these people who just step up and say, look, I want to take up rugby, the refereeing career, and if they can, you know, if they put out clinics for this refereeing course, you'll see there'll be a lot of people who'll be interested to take up that
Well,
course.
that's right, Mai, because, you know, I, for one, really, you know, I wouldn't mind going out there and start training on how to become a coach for certain sporting codes, which I believe many of the young kids, you know, they have their own certain sporting codes that they love and follow, and why not taking up a career on refereeing, you know, certain sporting codes as well. So if we can have PNG Sports Foundation come up with something where, you know, they can hold clinics, that's right, PNG Rugby League, and well, not just PNG Rugby League, it can be any other sporting codes, but to come all under PNG Sports Foundation, to come up, you know, with that proper procedure where we have clinics for referees, I'm sure lots of people will take part in it. What an interesting story, Mai. Another one. We'll take a quick break. Good on Benjamin Muri for what he's doing for Papua New Guinea. We'll take a quick break, and up next we take a look at Rabaul's LLG Games. back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Catch Play. Now, East New Britain Provincial Government is now carrying out the identification program for the upcoming PNG Games. So let's have a look at the story.
It's not always that the people from the Balanatamon local level government of Rabaul district in the East New Britain province gathered for such sporting event. But about 3 weeks ago, it was quite different. Every February, they gather to stage 3 days of sporting events at Nonga, just a few kilometers outside of the volcanic town of Rabaul. It brought together young men and women from within its 5 local level government wards, and during its opening, it signifies its success for the 5th year.
Bilukim kain turnout belong all year. Na commitment oli gat. Emi good plot through. Oli esip oli onim something ose mem belong all year. Ombla good plot example em now. Without funding and other resources, people manage to pushing through these games.
It marks the beginning of their efforts towards identifying sporting talents for this year's East New Britain's District Games and the 7th PNG Games in the neighbouring West New Britain province in the latter part of this year.
We start to mobilize our sports people in order to get a team into the district and the provincial games, so that we'll select a team for the PNG Grassroots Games in West New Britain, which is to be held this year in November.
East New Britain has contributed more athletes to last year's Pacific Games. Many of them were selected from the 2014 PNG Games in Lae. They have played the games, they have faced the challenges, and they have represented both the East New Britain province and Papua New Guinea in international games. Apart from the usual sports, the Balanatamon LLG administration also aims to gather its young people who have been involved in all the wrong reasons.
You want kind something where change him to attitude or behaviors or youth. We've had a fair bit of along law and order problems in the LLG. We try to combat this law and order problems with all harsh measures, like we go on operations and then we play kisimol mangina lokimol aplosel, but inokatambla senis come up. This is an initiative where provincial initiative and most probably block country. Longa mipla working this law engage him mostly all youth inside of this law all games. Emi alimo long, try long, turn him all around. They feel left out in everything that we do in terms of development. Inside law place, law lotu, law government. But the only thing that we can come through to them is through the sports. And this is exactly what we are doing.
In light of the backdrop of law and order issues involving youths, the administration has seen the importance to engage the young people in something a little bit different from their usual social life. It's an effort that Rabaul Umri, the Balanatamon LLG manager, believes will work.
He got good club long in his staff. It's just that we have to find a better way of approaching, because this group of people, we call them youths, I'm not like all group of people. Yeah. They are unpredictable. One time, I can talk to me, they are into this. Now you by having trust with you long, and then next minute time, he got some kind pressures. He come long all by taking narpla direction. But we are trying our very best here in the LLG and also with the support from the district to try and find some ways of supporting and empowering our youth, and one of them is through sports.
The LLG's administration is now looking at keeping this event going over the years, as it is one of the only LLGs in the province that has held onto this initiative. For the athletes who, while many may not have a public profile as yet, it is here that they want to begin their career in sports.
Yes, and there you have it. As you saw, Rabaul is now preparing for the upcoming PNG Games. Are we doing anything here in Port Moresby for NCD and Central Province, Mai?
I think so. You know,
think
they're
so?
out there, you know, preparing for the PNG Games, and
Yeah.
Rabaul is already in gear preparing for these, you know, the PNG Games and the
Yep.
LLG Games is right on spot now.
Well, as with, you know, Rabaul, while they're preparing, obviously they're still under preparations in Kimbe as well with the facilities. So everything is planned and everything should catch up at the end.
Well, you know, looking at East New Britain, they're going to bring a very strong team down for the PNG Games to, you know, give the challenge to other provincial teams that will be coming. So they're not wasting time. They've already started their preparation, as we've seen.
Yep.
The Taekwondo preparation is on. And now the LLG Games, the Rugby League is also going, Rugby Union. So all these games is scouting talent to pick their best athletes for this coming PNG Games.
Well, I think East New Britain is doing a great job. You know, we're a few months away. They're already ahead of other provinces. They're training, practicing for the PNG Games. That shouldn't be a problem here in Port Moresby, NCD and Central, because we've got the facilities. Now, another person to beat in the PNG Games that's coming up in November this year is Lei Morebe Province.
Morebe Province will be coming in strong. They're also preparing really hard for these PNG Games. Also, you know, the autonomous region of Bougainville,
Yep.
they did pretty well during the last PNG Games. So we should see a lot of more of the teams that have come in second place, third place, to take out
Yep.
that the first place in against the National Capital District team.
Well, what can you say? I hope that you know, everyone's training hard wherever they are in Papua New Guinea, and go out there and support your province if you're going to be in Kimbe during the PNG Games. I know obviously people are now training towards the games. It's a little too early to say good luck.
Yeah, and you know, a lot more talents will be identified during these
Yep.
PNG Games. And look, PNG is on fire to get new talents on board for the, you know, the Pacific Games that will be coming in the year's time.
Well, good luck to East New Britain and all the best in their training preparations for the upcoming PNG Games. We'll take a quick break, so we'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. Now, Simbu Warriors are now bidding for the 2016 Digicel Cup to be part of the competition, and Catch Play caught up with Sam Goya, who's the chairman for Simbu Warriors. So here's his interview.
Thank you very much, Sam, for your time again. Can you you're the chairman of the Simbu Warriors.
Yes.
Yes. Can you just tell me why you're here in Port Moresby?
I'm here because we've made a submission to be considered for inclusion in the 2016 Digicel Cup competition. And we are here to be given an official response to that. So I came down from Kundiawa.
You guys put in a bid because the Tene Lions are no longer in Kundiawa and Simbu, and Simbu doesn't have a team. Is that correct?
Very correct. You are right there. We don't have, there is no Digicel Cup team in Kundiawa now. And this is where we are coming in. We Team Bodies are the only team that has been sanctioned by the provincial government. And they've given us a lefty sponsorship of 500,000. The members have made a commitment of 100,000 each. So the two important two areas where you would have to have before you consider this a good sponsorship and a home ground field. And Simbu Warriors got a home ground field and we've got a good sponsorship. This gives me the confidence, and that's why I have to come down here.
Yes, and that was Sam Goya there, who's the chairman for Simbu Warriors. Now, Mayu obviously were there during his interview, so tell us what he had to say about the team.
Simbu Warriors is a new team picked from with the schoolboys and local Kundiawa rugby league players that have come out to make this team. TNA Alliance was once the provincial team that has now moved to Port Moresby. So the province didn't have a team. They've come up with the Simbu Warriors team to bid for the 2016 Digicel Cup. They have yet to get black and white in paper to be in the Digicel Cup.
I think what's interesting is that he said during the interview with you that they were getting kids or from schoolboys rugby league competitions to make this team to bid for the 2016 Digicel Cup.
Schoolboys aged 17 and 18 have made this Digicel Cup, the Simbu Warriors team. And these are boys who've been playing also in the local clubs, but they've been running this program, the schoolboys program. And after the TNA Alliance moved to Port Moresby, they took up the initiative to start looking at players in the schoolboys program, plus the Kundiawa local rugby league clubs. And they've come up with 36 players, and they're in their 6th week of training. Currently in training, and they're looking at, they have a positive and confident, mindset that they will make it into the Digicel Cup. And, with this raw talent that's been identified after their actual home team moved to Port Moresby, the team itself and the province itself has not stopped to scout young raw talents from the province itself.
I was also looking forward to joining the Digicel Cup, which is a good thing for them, I believe.
And all the best and good luck to the bid with Digicel Cup.
That's right, and that's brought us to the end of this edition of Catch Play. Yes, and do not hesitate to send us an email to sports@emtv.com.pg, or you can visit us here at Boroko Garden City Level 2. Myself and Judah Mimafu will be here to assist you on anything relating to sports development. Otherwise, that's the end of our show for tonight. We hope you've enjoyed this edition of Catch Play. I'm Godbineki.
And I'm Mai Koime.
Good night.
Good night.